Good day everyone, and welcome to my recording. Apologies for the delay. Real life seems to have taken over in past weeks, and I'm glad to be back to recording. Today I'll be reading Chapter 6 of Treasure Island by Robert Louis Stevenson, which is currently in the public domain. Whether you're winding down for the night, or just hoping for a moment's relaxation, I hope you enjoy. Also, please subscribe to my channel and like my video. It would help me greatly. We rode hard all the way till we drew up before Dr. Livesey's door. The house was in darkness. Mr. Dance told me to jump down and knock, and Dogger gave me a stirrup to descend by. The door was opened almost at once by the maid. "Is Dr. Livesey in?" I asked. "No," she said. "He had come home in the afternoon, but had gone up to the hall to dine, and passed the evening with the squire." "So there we go, boys," said Mr. Dance. This time, as the distance was short, I did not mount, but ran with the Dogger's stirrup leather to the lodge gates, and up the long, leafless, moonlit avenue, to where the white lines of the whole buildings looked on either hand on great old gardens. Here Mr. Dance dismounted, and taking me along with him, was admitted at a word into the house. The servant led us down a matted passageway, and showed us at the end into a great library, all lined with bookcases and busts upon the top of them, and where the squire and Dr. Livesey sat, pipe in hand, on either side of a bright fire. I had never seen the squire so near at hand. He was a tall man, over 6 feet high, and broad in proportion, and he had a bluff, rough and ready face, all roughened and reddened and lined in his long travels. His eyebrows were very black, and moved readily. It gave him a look of some temper. Not bad, you would say, but quick and high. "Come in, Mr. Dance," he said, very stately and condescending. "Good evening, Dance," said the doctor with a nod. "And good evening to you, friend Jim. What good wind brings you here?" The supervisor stood up, straight and stiff, told his story like a lesson, and you should have seen how the two gentlemen leaned forward and looked at each other, and forgot to smoke in their surprise and interest. When they heard how my mother went back into the inn, Dr. Livesey fairly slapped his thigh, and the squire cried, "Bravo!" and broke his long pipe against the grate. Long before it was done, Mr. Trelawney, that you will remember was the squire's name, had got up from his seat and was striding around the room, and the doctor, as if to hear the better, had taken off his powdered wig, and sat there looking very strange indeed with his own close-cropped black poll. At last Mr. Dance finished the story. "Mr. Dance," said the squire, "you are a very noble fellow, and as for writing down that black, atrocious miscreant, I regard it as an act of virtue, so like a stamping on a cockroach. This lad Hawkins is a trump, I perceive. Hawkins, will you ring the bell? Mr. Dance must have some ale." "And so, Jim," said the doctor, "you have the thing that they're after, have you?" "Here it is, sir," said I, and gave him the oilskin packet. The doctor looked it all over, as if his fingers were itching to open it, but instead of doing that, he put it quietly in the pocket of his coat. "Squire," said he, "when Dance had had his ale, he must, of course, be off on his Majesty's service, but I mean to keep Jim Hawkins here to sleep at my house, and with your permission, I propose we should have up the cold pie and let him sup." "As you will, Lucy," said the squire. "Hawkins has earned better than cold pie." So a big pigeon pie was brought in, and put on the side table, and I made a hearty supper, for I was hungry as a hawk, while Mr. Dance was further complimented and at last dismissed. "And now, squire," said the doctor. "And now, Livesey," said the squire in the same breath. One at a time, laughed Dr. Livesey. "You have heard of this Flint, I suppose?" "Heard of him, you say? He was the bloodthirstiest buccaneer that sailed. Blackheart was a child to Flint. The Spaniards were so prodigiously afraid of him that I tell you, sir, I was proud that he was an Englishman. I've seen his topsails with these eyes off Trinidad. The cowardly son of a rum puncheon that I sailed with put back, sir, into port of Spain." "Well, I've heard of him myself in England," said the doctor. "But the point is, had he money?" "Money?" cried the squire. "Have you heard the story?" What were these villains after but money? What do they care for but money? What would they risk their rascal carcasses but money? That we shall soon know, replied the doctor. You are so confoundedly hot-headed and exclamatory that I cannot get a word in. What I want to know is this. Supposing that I have here, in my pocket, some clue to where Flint buried his treasure, will that treasure amount to much? Amount, sir, cried the squire. It will amount to this. If you have the clue to talk about it, I will fit out a ship in Bristol dock and take you and Hawkins here along. I'll have that treasure if I search a year. Very well, said the doctor. Now then, if Jim is agreeable, we'll open the packet. And he laid it before him on the table. The bundle was sewn together, and the doctor had to get out his instrument case to cut the stitches with medical scissors. It contained two things, a book and sealed paper. First of all, we'll try the book, observed the doctor. The squire and I were both peering over his shoulder as he opened it. Dr. Livesey had kindly mentioned for me to come around from the side table where I had been eating to enjoy the sport of this search. On the first page there were only some scraps of writing, such as a man with a pen in his hand might make for idleness of practice. One was the same as the tattoo mark, Billy Bones his fancy. Then there was Mr. W. Bones, mate, no more rum, off Palm Key he got it, and some other snatches, mostly single words and unintelligible. I cannot help wondering who it was that had got it, and what it was that he had got. A knife in his back as like as not. Not much instruction there, said Dr. Livesey as he passed on. The next 10 or 12 pages were filled with curious sets of entries. There was a date at one end of the line, and at the other end a sum of money, as in common account books. But instead of explanatory writing, only a varying number of crosses between the two. On the 12th of June, 1745, for instance, a sum of £70 had plainly become due to someone, and then there was nothing but 6 crosses to explain the cause. The record lasted over nearly 20 years. The amount of separate entries grew larger as time went on, and at the end a grand total had been made, after 5 or 6 wrong additions, and these words appended, bones of his pile. I can't make head or tails of this, said Dr. Livesey. The thing is quite clear, it's noonday, cried the squire. This is the black-hearted scoundrel's account book. His crosses stand for the names of ships or towns that they sunk or plundered, the sums of the scoundrel's share. And when he feared an ambiguity, you see he added something clearer. Now you see, he was some unhappy vessel boarded off the coast. Ah, right, said the doctor. See what it is to be a traveller. Right, and amounts increase, see, as he rose in rank. There was little else for volume, but a few bearings of places noted in the black leaves towards the end, and a table for reducing French, English, and Spanish money to a common value. Thrifty man, cried the doctor. He wasn't the one to be cheated. And now, said the squire, for the other, the paper has been sealed in several places with a thimble by way of a seal. The very thimble perhaps I had found in the captain's pocket. The doctor opened the seals with great care, and there fell out a map of an island with latitude and longitude, surrounding the names of hills and bays and inlet, and every particular that would be needed to bring a ship to a safe anchorage upon its shores. It was about 9 miles long, 5 across, shaped as you might say like a fat dragon standing up. It had 2 fine landlocked harbours, and here in the centre marked with a spyglass. There were several editions of a later date, but above all 3 crosses of red ink due upon the north part of the island, one in the southwest, and besides these last, in the same red ink, and in a small neat hand, very different from the captain's story characters, these words, bulk of treasure here. Over the back in the same hand had written this further information, tall tree, spyglass shoulder, bearing a point of north to north-northeast, Skeleton Island, east-southeast, and by east 10 feet. But the bar silver is in the north cache, and you can find it by the trend of the east hummock, 10 fathoms south of the black crag, the face on it. The arms are easily found in the sand hill, north point of the North Inlet Cape, bearing east and quarter north, signed J.F. That was all, but brief as it was, to me incomprehensible, filled the squire and Dr. Livesey with delight. Livesey, the squire, you will give up this wretched practice at once. Tomorrow I start for Bristol, In 3 weeks' time, 3 weeks, 2 weeks, 10 days, I'll have the best ship, sir, and the choicest crew in England. Hawkins shall come as cabin boy. You'll make a famous cabin boy, Hawkins. You, Dr. Livesey, our ship's doctor. I am Admiral, will take Redruth, Joyce, and Hunter. I have favourable winds, quick passage, and not the least difficulty in finding the spot, and money to eat, roll in, to play duck and drake with forever after. Trelawney, said the doctor, I'll go with you, and I'll go bail for it. So will Jim, and be a credit to the undertaking. There's only one man I'm afraid of. And who's that? Cried the squire. Name the dog, sir. You, said the doctor, for you cannot hold your tongue. We are not the only men who know of this paper. These fellows who attacked the inn tonight, bold, desperate blades for sure. And the rest who stayed aboard that lugger, and more, I dare say, not far off. One and all, through thick and thin, bound that they'll get the money. We must none of us go alone until we get to sea. Jim and I shall stick together in the meanwhile. We'll take Joyce and Hunter when you ride to Bristol, first to last. One of us must breathe a word of what we've found. Lucy, returned the squire, you are always in the right of it. I'll be as silent as the grave. Thanks for listening, guys. If there are any other public domain novels you'd be interested in hearing, let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed, don't forget to leave me a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to stay up to date with future recordings. See you next time.